Computer crime, or cybercrime, is crime that involves a computer and a network. The computer may have been used in the commission of a crime, or it may be the target. Dr. Bharati Halder and Dr. K. Jaishankar define cybercrimes as offenses that are committed against individuals or groups of individuals with a criminal motive to intentionally harm the reputation of the victim, or cause physical or mental harm, or loss, to the victim directly or indirectly, using modern telecommunication networks such as Internet and mobile phones. Such crimes may threaten a nation's security and financial health. Issues surrounding these types of crimes have become high-profile, particularly those surrounding hacking, copyright infringement, child pornography, and child grooming. There are also problems of privacy when confidential information is intercepted or disclosed, lawfully or otherwise. Dr. Bharati Halder and Dr. K. Jaishankar further define cybercrime from the perspective of gender and defined cybercrime against women as crimes targeted against women with a motive to intentionally harm the victim psychologically and physically, using modern telecommunication networks such as Internet and mobile phones. Internationally, both governmental and non-state actors engage in cybercrimes, including espionage, financial theft, and other cross-border crimes. Activity crossing international borders and involving the interests of at least one nation-state is sometimes referred to as cyber warfare. The international legal system is attempting to hold actors accountable for their actions through the International Criminal Court. A report estimates that the annual damage to the global economy is at $445 billion. However, a Microsoft report shows that such survey-based estimates are hopelessly flawed and exaggerate the true losses by orders of magnitude. Approximately $1.5 billion was lost in 2012 to online credit and debit card fraud in the U.S. Classification: computer crime encompasses a broad range of activities. Fraud and financial crimes. Computer fraud is any dishonest misrepresentation of fact intended to let another to do or refrain from doing something, which causes loss. In this context, the fraud will result in obtaining a benefit by altering in an unauthorized way. This requires little technical expertise and is common form theft by employees altering the data before entry or entering false data, or by entering unauthorized instructions or using unauthorized processes. Altering, destroying, suppressing, or stealing output, usually to conceal unauthorized transactions. This is difficult to detect. Altering or deleting stored data. Other forms of fraud may be facilitated using computer systems, including bank fraud, carding, identity theft, extortion, and theft of classified information. A variety of Internet scams, many based on phishing and social engineering, target consumers and businesses. Cyberterrorism. Government officials and information technology security specialists have documented a significant increase in Internet problems and server scams since early 2001. But there is a growing concern among federal officials that such intrusions are part of an organized effort by cyberterrorists, foreign intelligence services, or other groups to map potential security holes in critical systems. A cyber-terrorist is someone who intimidates or coerces a government or organization to advance his or her political or social objectives by launching a computer-based attack against computers, networks, or the information stored on them. Cyberterrorism in general can be defined as an act of terrorism committed through the use of cyberspace or computer resources. As such, a simple propaganda in the Internet that there will be bomb attacks during the holidays can be considered cyberterrorism. As well, there are also hacking activities directed towards individuals, families, organized by groups within networks, tending to cause fear among people, demonstrate power, collecting information relevant for ruining people's lives, robberies, blackmailing, etc. Cyber extortion occurs when a website, email server, or computer system is subjected to or threatened with repeated denial of service or other attacks by malicious hackers. These hackers demand money in return for promising to stop the attacks and to offer protection. According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, cyber extortionists are increasingly attacking corporate websites and networks, crippling their ability to operate and demanding payments to restore their service. More than 20 cases are reported each month to the FBI, and many go unreported in order to keep the victim's name out of the public domain. Perpetrators typically use a distributed denial of service attack. An example of cyber extortion was the attack on Sony Pictures of 2014. Cyber warfare. The U.S. Among those are included the attack on Estonia's infrastructure in 2007, allegedly by Russian hackers. In August 2008, Russia again allegedly conducted cyber attacks, this time in a coordinated and synchronized kinetic and non-kinetic campaign against the country of Georgia. Fearing that such attacks may become the norm in future warfare among nation-states, the concept of cyberspace operations impacts and will be adapted by warfighting military commanders in the future. Computer is a target. These crimes are committed by a selected group of criminals. Unlike crimes using the computer as a tool, these crimes require the technical knowledge of the perpetrators. As such, as technology evolves, so too does the nature of the crime. These crimes are relatively new, having been in existence for only as long as computers have, which explains how unprepared society and the world in general is towards combating these crimes. There are numerous crimes of this nature committed daily on the Internet. Crimes that primarily target computer networks or devices include computer viruses, denial of service attacks, malware. Computer is a tool. When the individual is the main target of cybercrime, the computer can be considered as the tool rather than the target. These crimes generally involve less technical expertise. Human weaknesses are generally exploited. The damage dealt is largely psychological and intangible, making legal action against the variants more difficult. These are the crimes which have existed for centuries in the offline world. Scams, theft, and the likes have existed even before the development in high-tech equipment. The same criminal has simply been given a tool which increases his potential pool of victims and makes him all the harder to trace and apprehend. Crimes that use computer networks or devices to advance other ends include fraud and identity theft, information warfare, phishing scams, spam, propagation of illegal, obscene or offensive content, including harassment and threats. The unsolicited sending of bulk email for commercial purposes is unlawful in some jurisdictions. Phishing is mostly propagated via email. Phishing emails may contain links to other websites that are affected by malware, or they may contain links to fake online banking or other websites used to steal private account information. Obscene or offensive content. The content of websites and other electronic communications may be distasteful, obscene or offensive for a variety of reasons. In some instances, these communications may be legal. The extent to which these communications are unlawful varies greatly between countries, and even within nations. It is a sensitive area in which the courts can become involved in arbitrating between groups with strong beliefs. One area of Internet pornography that has been the target of the strongest efforts at curtailment is child pornography. Harassment. Whereas content may be offensive in a non-specific way, harassment directs obscenities and derogatory comments at specific individuals, focusing for example on gender, race, religion, nationality, sexual orientation. This often occurs in chat rooms, through news groups, and by sending hate email to interested parties. Harassment on the Internet also includes revenge porn. There are instances where committing a crime using a computer can lead to an enhanced sentence. For example, in the case of United States v. Neil Scott Kramer, Kramer was served an enhanced sentence according to the U.S. Sentencing Guidelines Manual 2G 1.3 for his use of a cell phone to persuade, induce, entice, coerce, or facilitate the travel of the minor to engage in prohibited sexual conduct. Kramer argued that this claim was insufficient because his charge included persuading through a computer device, and his cellular phone technically is not a computer. Although Kramer tried to argue this point, U.S. Sentencing Guidelines Manual states that the term computer means an electronic, magnetic, optical, electrochemical, or other high-speed data processing device performing logical, arithmetic, or storage functions, and includes any data storage facility or communications facility directly related to or operating in conjunction with such device. Connecticut was the first state to pass a statute making it a criminal offense to harass someone by computer. Michigan, Arizona, and Virginia and South Carolina have also passed laws banning harassment by electronic means. Harassment is defined in the U.S. computer statutes is typically distinct from cyberbullying, in that the former usually relates to a person's use a computer or computer network to communicate obscene, vulgar, profane, lewd, lascivious, or indecent language, or make a suggestion or proposal of an obscene nature, or threaten any illegal or immoral act, while the latter need not involve anything of a sexual nature. Although freedom of speech is protected by law in most democratic societies, it does not include all types of speech. In fact, spoken or written, true threat speech, text is criminalized because of intent to harm or intimidate. That also applies for online or any type of network-related threats in written text or speech. The U.S. Supreme Court definition of true threat is statements where the speaker means to communicate a serious expression of an intent to commit an act of unlawful violence to a particular individual or group. Drug trafficking. Drug traffickers are increasingly taking advantage of the Internet, according to cyber authorities and personnel, to sell their illegal substances through encrypted email and other Internet technology. Some drug traffickers arrange deals at Internet cafes, use courier websites to track illegal packages of pills, and swap recipes for amphetamines in restricted access chat rooms. The dark website Silk Road was a major online marketplace for drugs before it was shut down by law enforcement. The rise in Internet drug trades could also be attributed to the lack of face-to-face communication. These virtual exchanges allow more intimidated individuals to more comfortably purchase illegal drugs. The sketchy effects that are often associated with drug trades are severely minimized, and the filtering process that comes with physical interaction fades away. Documented cases. One of the highest-profiled banking computer crime occurred during a course of 3 years beginning in 1970. The chief teller at the Park Avenue branch of New York's Union Dime Savings Bank embezzled over $1.5 million from hundreds of accounts. A hacking group called Mott allegedly stole passwords and technical data from Pacific Bell, NINEC, and other telephone companies, as well as several big credit agencies and 2 major universities. The damage caused was extensive. One company, Southwestern Bell, suffered losses of $370,000 alone. In 1983, a 19-year-old UCLA student used his PC to break into a Defense Department international communications system. Between 1995 and 1998, the News Corp satellite pay-to-view encrypted Sky TV service was hacked several times during an ongoing technological arms race between a pan-European hacking group and News Corp. The original motivation of the hackers was to watch Star Trek reruns in Germany, which was something which News Corp did not have the copyright to allow. On the 26th of March 1999, the malicious worm infected a document on a victim's computer. then automatically sent that document and a copy of the virus spread via email to other people. In February 2000, an individual going by the alias of Mafia Boy began a series denial-of-service attacks against high-profile websites, including Yahoo, Amazon.com, Dell, Inc., E*Trade, eBay, and CNN. About 50 computers at Stanford University, and also computers at the University of California at Santa Barbara, were amongst the zombie computers sending pings in DDoS attacks. On 3 August 2000, Canadian federal prosecutors charged Mafia Boy with 54 counts of illegal access to computers, plus a total of 10 counts of mischief to data for his attacks. The Russian business network was registered as an internet site in 2006. Initially, much of its activity was legitimate. The RBN has been described by VeriSign as the baddest of the bad. It offers web hosting services and internet access to all kinds of criminal and objectionable activities, with an individual activities earning up to $150 million in 1 year. It specialized in and in some cases monopolized personal identity theft for resale. It is the originator of MPAC and an alleged operator of the now-defunct Storm botnet. On 2 March 2010, Spanish investigators arrested 3 in infection of over 13 million computers around the world. The botnet of infected computers included PCs inside more than half of the Fortune 1000 companies and more than 40 major banks, according to investigators. In August 2010, the international investigation Operation Delago, operating under the aegis of the Department of Homeland Security, shut down the international pedophile ring Dream Board. The website had approximately 600 members, and may have distributed up to 123 terabytes of child pornography. To date, this is the single largest U.S. prosecution of an international child pornography ring. 52 arrests were made worldwide. On March 1, 2011 at Lassiter High School, 2 students were accused of impersonation of a staff member via cybercrime, but both claimed they were uninvolved. The offense was made a felony in the Cobb County School District 2 months after the impersonation had happened. Shortly afterwards, the head of the LHS school board said the teacher just wouldn't do this at all. The case ended on May 9, and no evidence was found. In June 2012, LinkedIn and eHarmony were attacked, compromising 65 million password hashes. 30,000 passwords were cracked and 1.5 million eHarmony passwords were posted online. December 2012, Wells Fargo website experienced a denial-of-service attack, potentially compromising 70 million customers and 8.5 million active viewers. Other banks thought to be compromised: Bank of America, P. Morgan US Bank, and PNC Financial Services. In January 2012, Zappos.com experienced a security breach after as many as 24 million customers' credit card numbers, personal information, billing and shipping addresses had been compromised. April 23, 2013 saw the Associated Press Twitter accounts hacking to release a hoax tweet about fictional attacks in the White House that left President Obama injured. This erroneous tweet resulted in a brief plunge of 130 points from the Dow Jones Industrial Average, removal of $136 billion from S&P 500 index, and the temporary suspension of their Twitter account. The Dow Jones later restored its session gains.